56,000 Bitcoin bought in a single month from one company at a pace the market can't replace, because right now supply isn't just shrinking, it is being removed. And when that happens, price doesn't move normally. Before we go any further, look at this. Institutions now control over 14% of all Bitcoin. That was 8% in 2024. So it has nearly doubled, and it's accelerating. This isn't buying, it's removal. And once it's gone, it does not come back. Michael Saylor just accelerated the endgame. 56,235 Bitcoin in April. Let that sink in. 56,235 Bitcoin. That's a pace of 675,000 Bitcoin per year from one company. One buyer, one strategy. They're accelerating, absorbing the supply, not slowing down. This isn't a trade. It's a programmatic acquisition of the scarcest asset on earth. So here's what just happened. Strategy added another 3,273 BTC this week alone, announced today alongside their filing with the SEC. They now hold 818,334 Bitcoin, worth over $61 billion, and still buying every single week. Not trading, not flipping, not hedging, but accumulating at a pace the market physically cannot replace. We all know there's only 450 Bitcoin being rewarded to the miners each and every day. So if every miner on earth doubled production, still wouldn't be enough. But this isn't just about Saylor anymore, because at the same exact time, BlackRock is doing the same thing. Their clients just bought $732 million worth of Bitcoin last week with inflows each and every day. Total holdings now, $62.7 billion and rising week after week. Bid after bid, no distribution, only absorption, no exit liquidity, no rotation, just accumulation. So step back for a second and look at this clearly. Two entities, Saylor strategy and BlackRock's ETF machine, together controlling over 1.6 million Bitcoin, competing for the same shrinking supply. And that number is increasing every single week. Out of the total supply of 21 million, and millions of those coins already gone forever, either lost, destroyed, or just not coming back, which means the real supply isn't 21 million. It's whatever is left that someone is actually willing to sell. Now layer this on top of the spot Bitcoin ETFs now holding over 1.3 million Bitcoin. Total institutional ETF and corporate ownership, that's 14+% of the entire supply. That number has nearly doubled in the past couple of years and accelerating fast from 8% to 14% in under 2 years. That's not growth. That's a takeover of the hardest monetary asset ever created. This is the part most people miss. Bitcoin isn't being bought. It is being removed, pulled off the market, and once it's locked, it becomes effectively removed from circulation, and it doesn't come back. Locked into the balance sheets, locked into the ETFs, and locked into the long-term storage, which means the supply you think exists doesn't actually exist because it's not available, and that changes everything, because markets don't move based on total supply, they move based on available supply. And that available supply is collapsing quietly, relentlessly, and irreversibly, not because of the hype, but because of the structure. Now ask yourself this: what happens when demand keeps increasing, but supply keeps disappearing? Not slowly, not gradually, violently, because there's no mechanism left to balance the market. No natural seller, no equilibrium, because price doesn't need everyone to buy. It only needs a few buyers to compete over what's left. And right now, there's less and less left every single day. And the buyers stepping in now aren't price sensitive. They're allocation driven, mandate driven, time horizon, decades. Saylor's buying, BlackRock's buying, institutions allocating, and the long-term hodlers not selling. This is no longer a cycle. It's a structural shift from a liquid market to a controlled supply asset, where a small number of entities dictate the availability. Even Saylor said it himself. If the US doesn't start stacking Bitcoin, they'll be forced to buy it back later at $50 million per coin, because by then there won't be a market, only bids competing for whatever the supply still surfaces. That sounds insane in the membrane until you look at the numbers. Supply is being removed at scale, at speed, by entities with billions, with access to effectively unlimited capital backed by money that can be printed on demand. And the people waiting for the dip, they're waiting for sellers in a market where sellers are disappearing, because once supply is gone, price discovery becomes price escalation. So the real question isn't, is Bitcoin going higher? The real question is, when there's almost nothing left to buy, what price are people forced to bid to get access? So what I just showed you is already in motion right now, and the market hasn't priced it in yet, because when supply gets locked, price doesn't drift, it reprices fast. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is all breaking and just in. Saylor just bought again 3,273 more Bitcoin, now holding 818,334. And people still think there's a supply left. Here's the receipt, posted 8 hours ago this morning from the Giga Chat himself. It shows you their total Bitcoin as well as what it's worth today in fiat. 61.81 billion, and slowly but surely climbing. Also, spot Bitcoin ETF assets under management have exceeded $102 billion, holding over 1.3 million of all the Bitcoin there will ever be. Also, BlackRock's IBIT ETF clients purchased 732 million in Bitcoin last week, bringing their total holdings to 62.7 billion. And update, Saylor Strategy extended its lead over BlackRock as the largest public Bitcoin holder. Strategy, 818,334, BlackRock 812,276. So if you're watching this, shoe shine Larry, go home and get your shine box. That's a message from me to you, shoe shine Larry. Just saying. Now also, MSTR versus IBIT over the last 6 months, let's take a look. That's like 86,000 Bitcoin that were locked away from two entities for this month in April, and I think May is going to be even larger. So this is the total. 6 months MSTR accumulated 177,527 Bitcoin. Meanwhile, BlackRock's IBIT, 11,184. So what's likely to happen next? Now that they're both massively accumulating at the same time, fighting over the same exact available supply, let me know your thoughts right down below. Strategy, with their recent buy, that puts them at 56,235 Bitcoin for the month of April. That's a pace of 675,000 Bitcoin per year. And STRC is still in its infancy. This was funded entirely by MSTR sales. That's $250 million worth. More Bitcoin per share for MSTR shareholders. Year-to-date Bitcoin yield 9.6%. The orange singularity continues. Yeah, I think May is going to be even bigger than April for Strategy, but let me know your thoughts. Now, here's an update. If Bitcoin closes the week over 79,000, which we were above yesterday, we were this close to 80 Gs. It'll be the best performing April in the past 6 years. Numbers don't lie. Check the charts. It doesn't stop at BlackRock and Strategy. We have Strive. They just bought another 716 Bitcoin, announced today, for 61.44 million. They now hold 14,557 Bitcoin worth 1.1 billion, making them the 9th largest Bitcoin treasury. There's now over 125 corporate Bitcoin treasury plays, and many more being birthed, it seems, each and every week, all looking to collect that same piece of the bitty pie. And that bitty pie, there's only 21 million, several million lost, gone forever. And the liquid supply is estimated to be 1.9 million Bitcoin. That's what is actually available to buy today on the exchanges. And I do understand, if you look at the on-chain analytics, it'll show the exchanges range from 2.4 to 2.7 million Bitcoin, but not all of that Bitcoin is available to buy. Some of it is locked away, for example, for things like collateral. So the real liquid supply is shrinking in real time. Now, Grant Cardone reveals nobody would buy $10 million worth of gold at market price. Check this out. This is a real eye-opener.
I know a guy right now trying to get rid of like 10,000 pieces of silver. He can't.
Really?
He can't get a real offer on it. He's getting a 30% discount below the market.
Damn.
Like this is, people see it just spiking up like this and they're like, oh my God, gold's at $100. Go try to sell a fucking shitload of gold. You're gonna have offers 20 and 30% below market.
Right.
Because you want to sell your gold now. You're showing your hand, putting your flag up, say, surrender, I want my $100. The Bitcoin, dude, the Bitcoin is a real thing, bro. Bang.
That's right, because with Bitcoin, the transaction is the settlement. You don't got to worry about verifying, is the gold real? And who wants to take a 10 to 20% hit just for selling your asset? Gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. There is no second best. $3.8 billion Pantera Capital CEO said, I think there will be a global arms race for Bitcoin within the next 2 to 3 years. Countries that are aligned with the US, like the UAE, are acquiring cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin.
I think there will be a global arms race for Bitcoin within the next 2 or 3 years. Countries like the United States are establishing strategic Bitcoin reserves. Countries that are aligned with us, like the UAE, are acquiring cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin.
And this was actually prophesized first by the high priest, Max Kaiser. He coined it the global hash war, countries competing over Bitcoin versus banning it. And that's what we're witnessing in real time. Now, breaking news, Senator Cynthia Lummis said Bitcoin's market cap will grow to $200 trillion. It's coming. That's pretty impressive considering today we're close to 1.5 trillion. Can you say 200x? Send it. Now, also, U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis just announced today on stage at the conference, Bitcoin and crypto market structure legislation will get marked up in May. We're going to get it to the finish line. Here's a clip.
To craft legislation in Washington, we are going to mark up the Clarity Act in May. We are going to get it to the finish line. We are going to have the market structure that allows us to innovate, you to innovate, America to lead the world on this freedom asset.
Quoting the late, great Nipsey Hussle, the marathon continues. Now, U.S. Congressman just announced he will introduce a new strategic Bitcoin reserve bill. Bitcoin is the new world reserve asset, and America will lead on BTC. Here's a clip from the conference. Check it out.
And so we've been working with the Financial Services Committee to make some updates to that act, and we'll be planning on reintroducing this as the American Reserves Modernization Act, or ARMA. And why the renaming? Because it's so important for people both in Congress and across the nation to understand what we're actually trying to do. We're trying to make sure that Bitcoin is treated like the reserve asset that it is.
Well, there you go. They're reintroducing a new Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Act for the United States of America, and that's breaking news just announced today from the conference. Now, Colombia's largest pension fund just announced they launched a new Bitcoin fund. Denying Bitcoin would be ignoring the reality of the global market. Pensions embracing Bitcoin. It's here. Let's go, Colombia. One of my favorite countries in the world. I did spend 6 months in Medellin. Beautiful place to be, and it's good to see them adopting the B to the T to the C as global adoption accelerates around the world. $15 billion Bitwise CIO just said Bitcoin's about to rally through the Iran war. Add another $1 million to the target. It's going to 2.6 million. Very optimistic for the long term.
And if Bitcoin could be both a store of value and a actual currency, then the price targets we've been talking about, and in Bitwise, we've been talking about, $1.3 million by 2035. I think you have to ratchet that up, maybe another $1 million increment, because that's a huge addressable market.
All I got to say to that, 2.6 million per Bitcoin, send it. But yeah, I love hearing very bullish predictions like that. That gets me excited. Now check this out. BlackRock CEO Mr. Larry Fink, aka Shoeshine Larry, says no one should be surprised that Bitcoin hits 700,000. In fact, he did share that on CNBC. I do recall that particular interview. So naturally, very bullish as he should be as he continues accumulating. Now just recent surpassed 800,000 Bitcoin. The race continues to 1 million biddies. Who will hit that target first? Will it be Larry Fink or Michael Saylor? Let me know down below. Michael Saylor says if the USA stacks Bitcoin now, its enemies will have to buy it back at $50 million per coin. This is the modern digital gold rush. Tell him, Michael.
Eventually, the rest of the world will trade all of their stuff for it, but when they buy it, they'll be buying it at 10 million a coin or 20 million a coin or 50 million a coin.
There you go. $50 million per coin. If you had the ability to pay 1 penny to receive $1, how many times over and over and over again would you do that? Because that's precisely where we're at with Bitcoin. We got another easy 100x from here. So take advantage of it. So what I just outlined for you, you can see there is a supply shock occurring in real time, very limited amount of Bitcoin, the lowest amount of the liquid available supply we have ever seen. Juggernauts like Larry Fink and Michael Saylor, both accelerating to that 1 million Bitcoin mark. Both have already surpassed 800,000. Saylor on track to accumulate over 600,000 Bitcoin in the next 12 months, just at the current pace. That's without acceleration because he has vehicles like MSTR and STRC and able to raise infinite amount of money with his infinite money glitch, making it look effortless. So with what's happening and all the other corporate treasuries and the global hash war on the grand scale, strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States, pension funds for Colombia and the rest of the world, the UAE, Abu Dhabi, sovereigns, are you starting to see the bigger picture? They all want a piece of that 21 million Bitcoin pie. But when that Bitcoin supply runs dry, it's like having soap in your eye. Those are some bars for you. Boom, shakalaka. But let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price likely to go next as the global hash war accelerates and as supply runs dry. Drop it in the comments right down below. According to the River 25 report, and if statistics are true, 50 million Americans own Bitcoin and sats, and only 37 million own gold. Pretty wild. Appreciate the stats. That means Bitcoin adoption is superior to gold because gold is inferior. It's fucking 5,000-year-old technology nobody gives a shit about anymore because physicists could artificially engineer gold the same way they can create lab fucking diamonds. What did that do to the diamond market? Boop. It's plummeting because now they make lab diamonds for a fifth of the price of the real McCoy and they're flawless. And same shit with the gold. I don't think they can't transform fucking tungsten into gold. There's already been studies publicized. You create anything except more Bitcoin. That, my friend, is the difference. Help me to understand something. Of all these big financial institutions, Saylor, etc., are buying all the Bitcoin. When supply runs out, how are regular people going to buy it? How can it play a role? Well, because even though there's only 21 million Bitcoin, which is a very finite limited supply, each individual Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million sats. So people will be buying Satoshis versus Bitcoins. Pretty simple. So everyone on the planet can still buy sats. It may just be $1 a sat. It's not going to be, 1,500 sats per dollar like it today. It's going to be a totally different ball game. Just start stacking in sats and start thinking in sats versus Bitcoins. Yeah, Saylor and Larry Fink, Shoeshine Larry, they can think in Bitcoin. They're accumulating thousands of Bitcoin each and every week, sometimes by the day. But us plebs, us laymen's, we must think in sats. Yeah, so if you're a whole coiner, that means you have 100 million sats. And it's a beautiful thing. And there's estimated to only be roughly 250,000 people on the planet who are whole coiners. This is individuals. Addresses, there's roughly 1 million addresses with one whole coin or more. Everyone says they'll buy Bitcoin until it's not available. So be real. Do you think most people get in or get locked out? Let me know down below. Like the video and subscribe if you want to stay ahead of it because the people who wait don't get in.